good morning, friends. How's everything going? Happy Monday. Getting a little situated here. We will get our guests up and we will be ready to go in just a moment. How was everybody's weekend? Hopefully, everybody had a spooky weekend with Halloween. I love Halloween season. It's probably one of my favorite seasons. Um, I enjoy all the spooky, the ghoulish, the garish. It's all a good time. Let's see, who do we have here so far? Good morning, Natalie. I see you. Hey, there goes Bobby. Good morning, Bobby. And now just looking, there goes Alex. There we go. How's everybody doing today?
Hello, hello.
All right, mic check good. Mic check Alex.
Hello. How's it going?
Good, awesome. Good morning. All right. So we're gonna kick this off. You guys, um, give it a couple minutes to let people start strolling in. Sometimes the mornings are a little slow, especially on Mondays. Plus, with the time change, I'm sure people are a little off. I didn't realize it was daylight savings time for us over the weekend, so I think it's an hour later for you guys now in the rest of the world compared to what it used to be. All right. Alex, I don't know if you want to screen share it all. I don't know if you're going to show off the tool or if you want me to do it. I'm happy to either way. Maybe people are getting situated still. That's fine. All right. I can share this at least. There we go. Get this going. Cam. There we go. Now y'all can see my ugly mug. Good morning. All right, so today, guys, we're going to be exploring SurgeKit. We're here with Alex Valaitis. He is going to be explaining a little more about the project as the founder of SurgeKit. And we've got Bobby Zalk, who is a social media manager in the space. She's going to be able to give us a little more information and maybe touch on some tips and tricks that some of us might not have gotten to learn or understand yet as we go through it. So a little bit of an AMA, a little bit of an X algo. Um, fun time. Typically what we end up doing here, honestly, a lot of what SurgeKit does is focused around what we do as content creators. It focuses on a lot of the aspects of what we typically do when it comes to our contest scheduling, the virality scores,
Hey,
inspiration
we can't
hub.
hear you, by the way. I don't know if you can hear us, but you
Oh,
might be on mute or your headpiece not connecting.
okay. Nobody can hear me. That's weird. All right,
Still
let
not
me.
hearing anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're looking into it?
Yep.
All right. Bobby, can you hear me? Or was that just.
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I think
What?
he's
Thank
gonna
you.
drop in and rejoin. Yeah, it might be a
Yep,
Discord bug.
yes. Sir.
Hmm.
Is in the chat.
Okay. This is odd. 1 second,
Perfect.
guys.
Looks like he's trying to figure out how to join now.
Yes, definitely. Meantime,
Can you
everyone.
guys hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
we're
That was
back.
weird. For some reason, I couldn't actually just join the stage. I've got to double check on that because that's a permission failure. Um, but you know how it goes. Technology is wonderful until it isn't. So I'm pretty sure I just spoke to myself for about 5 minutes there. Yeah, gotta love it. Good morning, everybody. So today we're here joined by our friend Alex. I want to say Alexis because the Valaitis, but For some reason it just connects that way in my head. So we're here with Alex Valaitis and Bobby Zalk. Alex is the founder of SurgeKit. We've actually gone through an event with them recently for signing up and testing out their platform, giving some feedback, seeing how it works. We had about 48 people who had the opportunity to test it out for free for the week with no credit card wall for the free trial that they have, which was awesome. And we got some really good feedback from the friends about this. So we're looking forward to hearing more from you about the vision of SurgeKit, what you guys are doing, building in public, which is a little weird for a Web 2 native product compared to a Web 3 product, which is something that we experience all the time here because majority of the projects that we work with are Web 3 or Web 3 native. Now, being an X project, an X tool, you guys typically end up. End up fitting into the Web3 narrative a little bit because everybody that uses X typically is on is usually involved in Twitter in some way or media or something along those lines. And the lines tend to blur a lot with these. And then we're also joined here by Bobby Zalk, who's an SMM, a social media manager in the area. She's on X. She's on. I'm sure you do a ton of other socials besides that, being an SMM. So you have to have some fun with that along the way. Um, Alex, let us know a little more about yourself, and then we'll move on to Bobby, and then we'll move on to SurgeKit.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. Excited to chat with everyone today. I'll just go through my background real quick. So, started my career in big tech, worked at Intuit, which are like the makers of like TurboTax, QuickBooks, Mint, all of that. And then I moved over to LinkedIn, which was pretty cool because I got to work on a social platform at scale. I think most people, obviously know the TikToks, the Snapchats, the Instagram and Facebooks of the world. But LinkedIn is actually kind of underrated in terms of its like total audience and its growth over time. So it was really cool seeing behind the scenes of how like a big social media platform operates. And then after basically my tour in big tech, I had a roommate who got into the Binance Labs Accelerator back in 2016. So I joined him. First product we worked on, sort of like crash and burn, but it got us exposure to the crypto space. We started our own like product studio and agency there. Worked on a number of projects. Probably one of the largest ones being a project called DSO, which raised like $200 million from all like the top, who's who of crypto VC. We had like a really viral product called BitClout, which has since gone on to be copied by like a bunch of projects since. I think most recent examples being like Friend Tech and I think like a product called Zora or something like that. So spent a bunch of the time in the crypto scene. And then I've also done some stuff in media, launched one of the first like AI newsletters and like learning platforms, sold that. Um, like 18 months ago. And then now I'm working with Mario and Mario Naufel, who I'm sure you're all familiar with, and working to incubate products and invest in companies.
That's awesome. So, what prompted you to start SurgeKit then?
Yeah, so I think the heart of like all this stuff is around like AI and how it's like impacting software. So I think what's starting to happen and will be a continued trend over the next like 5+ years is we're seeing that product software products themselves are becoming commoditized. It used to be that like the moat was just building the products and getting it out there. There was just such a high bar. But now with, the new LLMs, basically anyone can build products in a very short period of time. So it's not enough to just have, a product. You also need to have an edge on things like distribution specifically. And so when we've been working with Mario, the question we've been asking ourselves is what are the type of products where Mario could have Mario and the other people we work with can have a distribution edge. And, obviously since we're all involved with X, it made sense to actually, start by building a tool for creators on X and kind of solving our own problems. And with SurgeKit specifically, I think at the heart of this is the question of like, how do we actually integrate AI into creators' workflows in a way that's like beneficial and like doesn't just end up creating like AI slop, as people like to say. And I think the way to look at that is it should be like a tool to assist, but not like a thing that is fully automated. And that's like the process we're trying to slowly build out is, how can you turn the, AI into a sort of like a helpful assistant that knows your style and can help nudge you and massage your work versus it just like fully automating it and no human in the loop. So that's going to be, I think, the key question we have with SurgeKit over like the next, couple quarters is like, how do we build a product that's not replacing creators, but it's actually assisting them and it's bringing out the best of their personal voice and tone, not just, some generic like, LLM, like spitting out something, that doesn't sound like them at all.
Yeah, I agree. And that's something that I tell these guys all the time. We host contests pretty much every week around either some form of content creation, and a lot of what I tell them is that AI is a fine tool. Use it as a tool, but don't ever try to make it replace you because realistically, it comes off as inauthentic. There's no AI out there right now. Even Grok can't make the most perfect post that people are going to relate to or connect with. Sometimes it'll come out with really great hooks, and you can use them for the hooks, but like the styling, the formatting, sometimes people tend to move away from those AI generated posts rather than embrace them because they see the telltale signs of AI. Like if you see the long M dashes and you see the like multiple emojis because it tried to use like an advanced emoji that isn't on X or on Discord or something like that, you typically end up seeing where it it doesn't mesh well and people notice it and they say, this looks like AI garbage. This looks like AI. Even if the content is good, it still kind of alienates them. Like they don't feel that connection because they feel like it's not authentic or not a real person. So definitely, I agree with you there. It shouldn't replace the creator. It should enhance the creator, make life easier for the creator. Yes. All right. So I actually have the SurgeKitIO website up here, checking it out with the friends here as we because we've done a couple of presentations live with it already. I've tooled around with it a little bit. I've checked out the inspiration bank and like the calendar function live with these guys, and then of course we did have the event. Is there any feature that you're looking to implement? Anything that you're trying to use to enhance the product now besides just what you guys already have available?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the past few months have really just been about getting the foundation there. And, obviously we're very grateful for you and everyone in this Discord community that helped test it, just because, when you build on top of multiple platforms, so we're reliant on both X as a platform and as well as Grok, which is the LLM that's driving everything. It obviously leads to a large surface area for issues and stuff. So I would say the past few months were about just trying to get a stable product, which we're getting there. There's still some things that come up, including something this morning. But I'd say the past few months were really focused on that. I think in terms of like looking forward, the next few things we want to do, I think the first is we want to continue to like really improve like the prompts. Like I think, obviously you guys have done like a first round pass and we've been able to actually like make some like updates to those prompts to churn out better results. But I think we want to continue to fine tune those and make sure that we're getting the best outputs possible. But there's a few other things we have on the roadmap that I think are super helpful. So the obvious one is like we want to bring more advanced analytics into the platform. Like ideally, this is like a one-stop shop. And yes, you can like do some of these things on X and X Pro and all that. But I think the main place we want to get to is to a point where we can just run like a lot of like complex automations directly in the SurgeKit product and actually track everything in one place. And obviously, an analytics experience is like an important part of that end-to-end process. So the analytics are an obvious thing to come in. A second thing that I think is more interesting is that when we've talked to creators, there's kind of like this, ladder of like, value props they want. The obvious is they want to be able to create content, and then the second thing is to get engagement on that content. And then the last thing for people is, well, if I'm going to be doing all this content and work, is there an opportunity to monetize? And so I think one thing we can experiment with that third bucket is you have platforms like WAP out there that let like, creators basically set up like a storefront to sell like info products and stuff like that. You've got TikTok Creator Marketplace, which is basically the ability to have brands go to creators directly. So I think launching something like an X Creator Marketplace where a creator can log in and actually start promoting products for brands and automatically get paid is something that we're looking into.
That's a lot to plan for, especially considering you guys have a long way to go. You guys only, what was SurgeKit? How long ago was SurgeKit founded? You guys are really early, right?
Yeah, it's really early. It's only been a couple months. So yeah, we're obviously like early in the process, which is why we want to do things. And I saw like Gabriel in the chat was like, the ability to do generate images and all that. So I do think we have to still nail that first part of the value prop, which is like help creators create great content. And then once we have that down, I think that's when we go to the second and third tiers. I was more just trying to paint a picture of like, I think the bigger place we'd like to be is starting to solve some of these places in the X ecosystem. And X not having a creator marketplace on like TikTok and a lot of these other platforms, I think is one thing that does hold it back. So that's like the type of thing we're ultimately building towards.
Okay, that's interesting because I noticed like you guys don't have um like built-in media generation just yet. There's still a lot of integration that you guys can work towards for building with like Grok and integrating into X. Like you mentioned, the analytics, those things would all be super helpful. The less somebody would have to, a good rapper is a rapper that the less somebody has to go and interact with X itself, the better off it'll function and take off in my opinion, because if you have to jump back and forth between the tool and your page itself, it's a friction point, because if you're already on the platform, then to have to switch back and forth, for me, I'm lazy, like it's like I don't want to jump back and forth 100 times. But the more that you have, like, quote reposts, if you could do that off of the inspiration bank, for instance, you go to a post, you find one, you hit use, and you could like have an option to quote repost that tweet or post, so that you can then attach your post to it and potentially help improve your impressions or your replies or responses or whatever. Um, I could definitely see that helping out. But I mean, already you've got like the AI personalities, you've got the tweet types, and like you said, you're trying to do the get the post generation just perfect. So, and that's all going to take time to develop. So, yeah, I'm sure. It's an interesting journey that you guys are on. Um, let's see. We did have a couple of quick questions. I'm just going to jump into this one because we were talking about image generation. It's not currently built in, and is that on like the short term roadmap or the long term roadmap?
I would say that's more on like the immediate short term, just because like we want to basically focus on that content generation piece. And I agree, like doing image within the platform, I think is pretty crucial, especially since Elon's come out and directly said they're basically going to prioritize like Grok content. Um, and I think that's because like he's got a like probably personal incentive to see more adoption of Grok and its products. So the X algorithm, I think, is going to start basically embracing that content. Um, we'll see if it's for better or for worse, but we know they're going to push it. So I would say, yeah, like image generation will be something we absolutely will bring into the platform in like the more short term roadmap.
Hmm. I'm also curious too, maybe because like when it comes to like wrappers for AI, because this is almost like a tool with a Grok wrapper for utilizing Grok and interacting with it. Considering you're an external platform, is there any concern around that for like X actually deprioritizing posts that might come from your site?
I mean, I think that's always a risk when you build on top of these platforms to be aware of. So, it's tough to say. Like, I can't say that there wouldn't be any risk, but as of right now, we haven't seen anything. So to like give us an indication that that would be an issue. And historically, like there are other players in the space, and I think none of them have really had these serious issues. I think one of the bigger issues was like, for instance, when like external link, um, started to kind of get like deprioritized. I know that hurt like platforms like Substack and all that. But I think because we're more closely integrated with X and are actually using Grok as their LLM as opposed to like, like ChatGPT or as opposed to like GPT-5 or the DeepSeek or like Claude, I think we're probably in a better place. And we'll always continue to monitor and stay on top of that.
Okay. So yeah, let's hope for the future then for sure. Because I know he's really finicky with what he does around like the algo and what's boosted and what's prioritized or deprioritized depending on whether or not it benefits the platform or Grok. But again, you're using X as the back end. You're using the Twitter API and probably the Grok API to integrate. So you're paying to use this anyway. So I wouldn't see why he would probably deprioritize it because it's an external site or an external wrapper for Grok. So it should be probably pretty safe for the future, hopefully. Otherwise, it's figuring out the drawing board again, right? All right. Let's see here. Uh, hmm. So in the immediate, what's next on your guys's like roadmap? What are you guys tackling in the next month? Hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. So we've hit on some of it. So yeah, like things like image generation, integrating that into the platform, that's 100% on the roadmap for now. I'd say the second thing is we want to actually get the V1 of the analytics into the platform. I think that's like the most like glaring gap between us and some of the other products in the space is the fact that um, you basically would have to go into Axe if you want to like see how it performed, which again defeats the like kind of like all in one place thing. So I'd say in the immediate term, like those are like probably like the two things we'll tackle is being able to do more content generation in terms of like image and then also just improving these prompts, like at least one more turn of improvements based on the feedback we've had. And then getting the V1 and the analytics in there. Those are like the immediate stuff. After that, if we kind of have a backlog of feedback from people that have used the platform, and we have to kind of comb through that and kind of decide, which is why this feedback is super helpful for us.
That's awesome. I look forward to the improvements, especially based on feedback. A lot of builders just build what they want to build and don't pay attention to the feedback. Building with the public, building with the community that you're going to build, because realistically, content creation is a community building experience. Like you're building people around your brand or your image. So I'm sure that SurgeKit's going to be building their own community around the tool itself. That would actually potentially be pretty cool, like a community option on the SurgeKit page where people can interact with each other, talk about content, stuff like that. But then again, you guys have the SurgeKit creators community too on X, so that's someplace else that everybody can go and join. And if anybody hasn't gone and joined it yet, I'm gonna post the link here in just a moment for everybody, so you guys can go check them out, follow along, see the updates as they come out. And there is an announcement towards the end of this that Bobby's gonna give us regarding the events that they've got planned for the next few weeks to months. We'll let you know about that in a little bit. Is there anything that you wanted me to show off or display on the X or the SurgeKit page here? I'm happy to explore anything. I've got it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, I think you've done I think most of the people here, right, probably went through the competition. So I would assume most people are probably familiar with it. But I think it maybe in terms of the end flow, what making sure people understand like I think the most important one to do is make sure people are aware of like how to do their own personality. So I don't know if you want to show that real quick, but like in the actual person like tweet personalities, choosing like yourself and then that process of or adding a personality and then like if you go to the bottom like when you click that to the add personality, I guess something people probably don't realize is like, so if you do upload from X, it's going to like ingest your own like historical tweets. So that'll like build like kind of a posting profile on you. But another thing that you can do that probably a lot of people haven't tried is if you see like another creator you really like their style and you want to sort of like try to mimic that a little bit more, what you can do is actually download some of their old tweets and then upload that as like a PDF and then create like that new personality to go off of, right? So that could be if like you're trying to aspire to a new type of posting personality. And again, because this is like a process where it'll generate it, but then you have multiple options and then you have to do the final edit before you post. That should actually help you naturally, if you wanted to naturally start posting more like someone you respect, that's a kind of a good way to start slowly getting you there, right? Because you still ultimately have to like go through that process of editing it and posting it yourself. So that would be like the other one I think a lot of people probably aren't aware of.
Huh. Yeah, no, I actually, I even during my explorations, I never actually checked this out, but it seems like you can upload a PDF. What would be some of the easiest ways to potentially get the data for adding to the personality? Just like copy paste, um, screenshots, like how does that work?
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
No problem. I was saying, so like I actually haven't checked out the upload a file version of this. So I noticed that it'll take a PDF file. What would you say is the easiest way to like get the data from the person that you want to aspire towards? Like, do you want to go to their page and just copy all of their posts, or because there's got to be an easier way to do it, hopefully.
Yeah, there's a few options. So one is like, I mean, the most manual process, yeah, would be go and you just like copy and paste a few or take like some screenshots of them. And I mean, this can be good if you want to like just go off of like someone's like best posts. Like if you hit their highlights tab, you can basically just say, okay, I only want to train off like their top ones. Um, so that's one option. I kind of now I think about it, like I was using like the X API was like doing it myself with like some Python scripts, but that's actually more of like an involved process. Um, the last tool is like there's plugins you can use, and maybe this is like a plugin or something we might have to add ourselves. There's a tool called Phantom Buster, which basically is like a Chrome extension. I recommend that tool in general for people, but you can basically do like scraping like posts. So Phantom Buster would probably be the easiest option, but even that might be too involved. So I might have to look into how to do that. I dropped a URL in here, I think, as well.
Oh,
So, oh,
URLs
it
URLs
doesn't let me.
typically don't work. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
If you DM it to me, I'll be able to post it. We block anything but X posts typically.
got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Security
Yeah,
purposes, we're nuts about that here. But yeah. I'll get
yeah. I
that.
just put the company name. If people Google that, you can see that. And then yeah, one of their like basic features is like you could go use the Chrome extension and basically download all the posts from one page. So yeah, I that's actually like a good thing to like add maybe to like the backlog of like, is there a way we could make that easy for people?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome because if you provided a way for people to like easily and seamlessly use somebody as an inspiration for their posting, they like ICO Beast. Everybody loves ICO Beast, right? Instead of having to sit there and like copy and paste all of his things into a PDF to be able to say, "Hey, I want to use ICO Beast as an influence," which, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually do with Grok. Like you can add a specific account on like the Grok main AP like main page and have it like say use ice at ICO Beast or use Alex Valaitis as an inspiration for this post, and give it content and then have it generate it. So maybe there's a way that can be applied into SurgeKit as well.
Yeah, I like that idea. I'm going to take a note of that to actually to talk to the team about that one. I like that idea.
One thing I love about AMAs is that is that realistically AMAs are informational for the community, but they also generate ideas. Like during questioning, during exploring what the project is about, you get an opportunity to hear from the community what people would possibly want to see or what people were expecting to see from a product and what it's based on. So it's always a great experience for exploring potential opportunities for improvement or even directions for things to develop into. Because hey, what the customer wants, right? All right,
No, exactly. I mean, this is part of the process. So that's why I'm like happy we're doing these because yeah, it is like it's an ongoing thing, right? Like none of this stuff is set. Like, and I think that's ultimately all that matters is like what do people want that are using it.
for sure. Oh, we've covered so much already, and we're only half an hour in. You know, it's crazy. Some of the AMAs that we have, like, I feel like an hour is never enough. And then we've gotten through so much information already on SurgeKit and what you guys are planning on doing, and it's only been in half an hour, which is kind of crazy. So, um, hmm, let's see. Do you want to open it up for some of the questions? Because I did notice that we have a couple of questions in the chat here already, and then we could always save like the last 10 minutes for the event announcement that you guys have cooking. Let's see what we got here. We've got Hamez. Hamez is one of our friends. He's been participating quite a bit, and I believe he did participate in the creators workshop. Um, he had a question around the creators work sloppy. In terms of improvements, what's the percentage of the success rate? Like not making the creators work sloppy instead of improving. Like what do you guys have any metrics on like um that's a weird question, Hamez. It sounds more like you're asking for like statistics on whether or not they're they're improving somebody's post or making it worse, which I is actually an interesting question. How do you guys like track the generation and what is it? How do you track that? How do you track the generation? How do you see if people are getting generated content that they're using or having to adjust it heavily? I guess that would be feedback though, right?
Yeah, it's a tricky one because like all content is ultimately like subjective to some degree. Um, so I think the way we would do it though is like there's I think metrics that are probably like downstream of posting that like are indicative if it's working. For instance, if we can I mean the term, right? If we can see that people are continuing to post through SurgeKit and like the amount of like generations they're doing, that's usually a signal that okay, they're happy with the content. But I think once we get more involved and can actually have the analytics built in, we actually will have some amount of um like objective like data we can go off of. So we could say, okay, like these personality types are actually like performing better, right? Or we could tell people like, hey, if you were trying long form tweets versus threads versus short tweets, like here's how the engagement has looked because they're constantly tweaking that algorithm. And so it might be, for a while, like video or image, like rich media is prioritized. There's been times where like threads were like the only way to like really get serious engagement on ads, and then they've changed from that. So I think once we have that in the long term, we can start to like actually map and we can actually say, hey, these were the inputs you used, right? When you were creating that content, and this is the actual engagement you got.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think that's a hard question there, Hamez, because realistically tracking what's generated and then what somebody uses or doesn't use, depending on how many people are using it, how many posts are being generated, that's a lot of data and a lot of data to track and then process too. And then to top it off, there's probably privacy factors built into that as well, right? I mean, you shouldn't be able to track everything everybody's generating or tossing in there. No.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we could say for like an individual base, right? We also might be able to do some like obfuscated stuff where it's like we just give high level stuff and it's not like talking about people's specific posts. So there probably is something that we can do. We just have to look more into it.
All right, that's interesting. Let's see what the future holds for that then at least. Oh, what happened here? Oh, it's weird. That off my screen. All right. So, let's see. We've got another question here from Lucas. I'd like to know, by using AI and automated posting tools, is there a risk of getting our X account suspended or banned? This is a big one for these guys because they already participate. A lot of these guys participate in questing platforms. A lot of these guys are trying to make a dollar wherever they can. So they already have some level of risk exposure for their accounts. And then on top of that, using an automated posting tool, a scheduling tool, or even like a generation tool would make a lot of people nervous. So, is there any potential risk to your account by using SurgeKit?
I mean, none that we're explicitly aware of. Like, I think if it puts people's like minds at ease, there's a lot of like platforms. Like, we're not the only one doing this, right? There are like a lot of other platforms that do it, and X and a lot of these other big platforms, they have an incentive to like build ecosystems around it because ultimately any tool like SurgeKit, which gets people to post more, does benefit the community. So I mean, we always do our best to like stay on top of it to make sure that we're keeping up with it. We're also fortunate that like we do know some people at the X team, so it's like worst case if anything started to happen, like we can actually get in touch with them, which I think is a huge advantage. This was like a thing even at like LinkedIn, right? They like the amount you'd be shocked the amount of times that like things just break. And the only way to fix it is to basically have like a direct contact at the company. So I think we're fortunate to have that. So the short answer is like there's never I can't say there's never any risk for anything because I mean there's just risk in posting in X in general. Like people get banned and not know it sometimes and all that. But I think people could take solace in the fact that there's a number one, we're using Grok, so we're using their LLM. Number two, we're constantly like staying on touch with it. And then the third is if anything did happen, we have an actual like context at X. So I would say out of like all the platforms, we're probably in like the best shape, if that makes sense.
All right, so you can't make any 100% guarantees, but there's been no been no red flags, and you have context to help guide you guys on how to prevent it if it ends up needing to be. So that's good. You're taking active prevention methods.
And also like I think the big thing is, it'd be one thing if like Elon was out here tweeting like, oh, I don't want like AI like posts on my platform, but it's like he's doing the exact opposite. He's like, if you look at his account, he's always using Grok, and he's like, oh, the feed should improve because we're like prioritizing Grok content. Like that's like why you're seeing better results, yada yada. So I think because of the fact that he's explicitly saying, hey, I want more AI content, and hey, like we're going to prioritize it, I think that also like bodes really well for us.
All right. I'm well. Let's see what happens because he's definitely pushing that AI aspect. Everything he does now is some Grok generated, AI generated post. So if he can do it, hopefully that means good things for us when it comes to doing it too. Um, I do see here when we were talking about the personas with uploading the persona for somebody else or a file with another person's likeness or post or whatever. Somebody did mention, do you need permission from the owner? I know from my experience, if you're taking the post and you're running it through, you don't necessarily need permission from the owner. If you're generating content and using like realistically, if you're generating your own content and trying to mimic their style, you wouldn't sit there and say, "Hey guys, I'm inspired by ICO Beast." It's kind of similar, it, but at the same time, it's it's AI generated, so there is some concerns about um, authors and their content being protected and how people feel about their content being used. This is more of like an ethical question than a legality question. Where do you stand on using other people's content for uh, enhancing your content, Alex? Since we're on the topic.
Yeah, well, I mean, I follow these guys. There's a show, My First Million. I don't know if people have like heard about it, but it's run by this guy Sam Parr, who sold this like newsletter company called The Hustle to HubSpot a couple years ago, and then Sean Peary, and they actually have this course, which is like one of the best like copywriting courses I've ever taken. And it's interesting. And one of the things they talk about this exercise called like copywriting, where they basically say, go find like a writer you really enjoy. And then they're like, spend like 30 minutes, like a day, like actually writing out their content. And like, they're like, in doing that, you start to basically learn their style and it like naturally like ebbs and flows into your style. So I think if you're gonna like go from people, I think it's better to try to learn like syntax and style from people versus like the content, right? Because that's how the like a lot of the best writers and creators are. They learn their syntax and style from other creators. And it's like the same thing for like art and music and all that. But then what you don't want to do is like lift their content. So it's like less about their content and more about their syntax and style, if that makes sense. So like you could go find some writer that you really enjoy that like say discusses politics, but if you're super into crypto, it's like, okay, I like their cadence, I like their structuring and all that, but I'm going to start generating content about crypto. And then I think it's like, a lot more reasonable because it's like you're not like stealing their content and their stuff. It's you're more like getting inspired and you're learning to write in the style that it's like a mix of theirs and yours. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'd also say lastly, it's like a ongoing process. Like I don't know if people saw this, but things are constantly changing with these AI platforms. Like ChatGPT just announced today that they'll no longer give legal or health advice, which is pretty crazy announcement if you think about it. Because like I asked it like health questions all the time, so I think like we're still figuring out all this. It's like early in the process.
Okay. So yeah, and that, like I said, it comes down to like a principle thing too. Some people are like, oh yeah, I just won't do that because it doesn't sound like it's a ethical thing to do. I actually have a lot of noise in my background. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta close this window. We just had a oil delivery come in for the winter. But it definitely more of an ethical issue in my opinion. All right. Sorry about that. Did not expect them to come in now. But let's see here. Potential partnership. All right. Captain Easy does have one. We've got about 8 more minutes before we hit the 10-minute mark, and then we're gonna let Bobby have her go. But what is the future you want to build for SurgeKit? I mean, what is your own point of view? How will it be in the future? So, like, basically, what is the future you want to build for SurgeKit? From your point of view, where do you see the future of SurgeKit heading, and how will it be situated in the future? I think is what our friend Easy is trying to ask here.
So just to make sure I understand, you're saying like, where do you see it in the future? Like what like is like the platform going to focus on, or like something else?
I think maybe just like your general view, like where do you see SurgeKit in 5 years? What will it be like? What will the experience for the average user be based on what you see for that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like what I alluded to before. Is like there's kind of those tiers, right? Um, so ideally, we get to a point where we're solving across all those tiers. Like one thing that's always like kind of made me like a little sad about X as someone who like I've gone through periods where I was like super engaged on X and was like going viral all the time. And one of the things I felt was like, damn, like this is like so much effort and energy, but like you just like it's really hard to make money on this platform. And X is unfortunately sort of unique in that sense where like you can make a lot of money if you have a big Instagram account. You can make a lot of money naturally if you like have a TikTok account. But if you're big on X, there's basically like historically been like no great way to monetize. They've started to roll out the creator program, but I think it's a little bit flawed, right? Like no one knows how it works. It's like 1 month, like someone would get like 10 grand and then like the next month it goes to zero. So I think getting to that point where there is an actual marketplace and it's like, okay, you're able to create content as efficiently as possible. It actually is getting engagement with the right audiences on X. And you can then start to monetize because rather than like having to gatekeep or something like that, you can basically say, okay, you know, these brands have put up campaigns, which is like how TikTok Creator Marketplace and WAP and platforms like that work. Is a brand can basically put up a campaign a creator can click a button, they can post, and then they get automatically paid based on the quality of their engagement. So something like that, I think long term would be like kind of like the holy grail of a platform like this. And it's basically like, SurgeKit turns it from being like acts as like just a platform where you can just like kind of like rip off ideas, right? To actually being a place where creators can like make money, and like it doesn't have to be a ton. I just think most people are like, if I'm going to put in this much time and energy, it'd be nice to get something back out of it, besides just like, some engagement.
Yeah, that is the one thing about the X platform that people do gripe about, is that the only real way to monetize is through the creator program or through subscriptions. And like, as we know, people don't like paying for subscriptions, especially for content, unless they really, 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 really value your content. The likelihood is you're not going to get subscriptions, and depending on how much content you produce, it depends. It varies wildly what you're going to make, and it feels like on X, the amount of time dedicated to trying to monetize your content feels like the effort isn't always worth the reward. So finding other avenues for people to monetize would definitely be amazing. TikTok Shop comes to mind for sure. Like you said, it would be interesting to be able to get like sponsored posts for certain content or certain products. Maybe even like rev share, or like where like when they get a click through and a purchase from your thing, you get your affiliate cut or whatever. So that's definitely a potential for opportunity in the future, and something that'd be nice to see. Even if X doesn't do it natively, having a platform that would allow for that, allow for those partnerships and connections. But yeah. Let's see here. 4 minutes to go. Velocity. Does SurgeKit have any plans of launching tokens? I need that money.
Well, it's actually not a bad question because it's something like we're definitely open to. Is we're obviously like very crypto focused, um, just like had such like a larger team and company. And so I do think there's like an opportunity for like a flywheel at some point where it's like, okay, we actually start to pay out um, people if they are posting content and the amount of engagement that they're getting. So it's definitely, I wouldn't put it like outside the question that we do something like that, especially because it can be like a really good way to like bootstrap initial engagement. Because I think if we have a ton of creators coming and using SurgeKit, right, then it makes it a lot easier to do that other vision we were talking about, which is like we can then go to brands and say, hey, we've got hundreds or thousands of creators that come into this platform every day. And we're going to add a little tab in there that says earn, and you guys are going to go post your brand campaigns, right? And just let people or let creators automatically start posting on behalf of those companies. And then we can look at that engagement and maybe we pay them out in a token, or maybe it's something else. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's never say never with that, is what I would say.
No, I mean, with the creator program with like rev share or affiliate commission based earnings, there's potential for that. I could see that. Where maybe you do somebody comes in and buys it, and the company that's looking to sell that product pays the creator in that token, with a small fee that allows it to burn the token. Even like there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can work with that, but I'm sure that would take a ton more planning, and with you just building out the platform, I'm I'd be surprised if it was there yet, for sure. um let's see. Francisco wants a roadmap page. When roadmap?
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the idea. It's one thing that could be cool is I got to talk to the team, but it could be interesting to say, okay, we've gotten all this feedback from people. Let's do like a voting just to see, what people like the most. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen like if there's, you said there's a lot of crypto people here. There's things like Snapshot or whatever where some of these like crypto products will literally like run their roadmap based on voting. So I wouldn't say like that's something that's outside the question either, right? I think it could be cool to have like a public like roadmap board or like backlog and just let people vote. That could be cool. Because it'll
Yeah.
actually like tell what do people want the most, right? Versus me just try to guess with the team, right, based on my engagement or my intuition. But like actually have some like like votes to dictate it.
Yeah, no, definitely. It would be a way for you to have the community guide the path without having them just suggest whatever they want. If you have like an optional like select this if you're interested in seeing this next or whatever, so that people can just say, hey, you know what, this feature sounds cooler than this feature. I'd like to see you guys implement this first. And it's already something that you guys are planning on doing, so that it helps just guide you down prioritization, which is awesome. Let's see. I did see one here from Jay. I've been curious about the virality button. What's the actual mechanism behind it? Is it Grok that determines the virality score since it's the AI they use, or what exactly?
Yeah, so basically what we've done is X a while back, X or Elon quote unquote open source the algorithm. So on GitHub, they basically published, hey, here's like the different factors we look at when weighing how things work with the algorithm. Now that was like somewhat incomplete, to be honest with you. But what we effectively have done is we basically run like a prompt where we basically say, hey, Grok, like we feed into the context window um, that like basically GitHub algo breakdown of like, okay, here's the major factors. Now take this post that we just generated from the user and weigh it against those variables that are listed here, right? And so it'll then actually look at that. And again, it's not like an exact science, right? Because even some of these are um, like how do you like there's certain things that are like objective where it's like okay like does this use like swear words, right? And if that's like a thing that's hard coded into the algorithm, that's one that's good. But then if it's like a different factor that's more subjective, it won't be entirely perfect, but that's basically how it's working today. Now I think that feature in particular will get better if Elon says what he's claimed they're going to do, which is he said that they're going to start like truly open sourcing the Axe algorithm and like doing like updates weekly. And if that happens, I think that's when we'll truly start to see the breakthrough.
Yeah, there's still a lot that's like black box where you can't get access to it and figure it out. So once they if they do open that up, that would be crazy to see what happens with the content creation arena in general. All right, so we're up at the 11:52 mark. So is there any final words, Alex, before we start shifting over to Bobby and what you guys have got planned?
No, I think this was great. It was a lot of great questions. Like you said before, like we're still really early, so any feedback people have is appreciated. And yeah, it's like a learning process. But I also think the other cool part is if we can create a community of people, that's like the other value here. I think ultimately we're all just trying to learn this platform, trying to get like we just want. I think every person that uses X, they've seen like how like valuable and fun the platform can be. It's just like how can we make it more efficient, right? And to me, as someone who's been like a power user of X for a long time, talking to other people and always staying up to date on the latest is important because like with these algorithms, it's like you can think you have a strategy figured out, and then the next thing you know, it's like you suddenly don't get the engagement, and then it creates a bad feedback loop where you're like, well, why am I even posting? No one's even looking at it. So I think having a community is like what makes it most fun. So yeah, be sure to join like the creator club and stay active on this because I think that's like the other main benefit of like being a part of like something like that.
Having a support group of other creators around you when you're trying to start your creator path, especially ones that are a little more experienced, tends to help a lot with your journey because they can provide you with information on how to improve so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that creators typically make starting out to learn the ropes. You get to learn what works and what typically doesn't directly from somebody else. It's super beneficial, but the problem is sometimes there's misinformation too. So like a lot of it comes down to preference, and typically if you're creating if you're doing it as a preference based thing, you may not get the best results, but it may also be more comfortable for you. So it makes it easier for you to post and create over time. So definitely hook up with your buddies, be good friends, help each other out. Something that we go by here, we learn, grow, and earn together. We're all on a path to becoming better content creators, improving our content, getting better graphics and media attached to it. And if this tool can help us progress, if it can help us move forward in the future, then I look forward to the community members using it and seeing how their content develops in the future. But speaking of in the future, what event do we have coming up, Bobby?
Hello, hello. Hi. That is hi, Alex. Thank you so much for giving me mic. Hi. First of all, I really want to say I'm so glad to see so many of you guys here. And hi, I'm Bobby Jalke. I'm a social media person behind the scenes for SurgeKit. And from last 7 years, I have been a creator, a social media person myself. And that is, I think you quoted it so well, where you mentioned that we as a creators do not need any AI tool which can basically replace us or act behalf of us. No, we need an AI which can enhance our creativity, which can enhance our writing process. And basically, I know the struggle of every creator out here. I mean, just send a plus if you relate to this. Like we spend hours in researching particular about a particular topic. We craft the content and we think like, okay, once we post this, it's gonna be the that tweet which gonna bring us that attention we deserve, right? And after 7 hours, we see like, okay, it have so many less views and likes and comments, and that's the foundation of SurgeKit. Basically, we are trying to remove that guess spark where we do not have to think, is it gonna work or is it not gonna work? It's basically a Grok powered AI tool. And we know that right now Grok have the most information about what exactly X algorithm is, right? And what's gonna work and what not. And this search kit is basically gonna remove those guess bar. So if you guys are following SurgeKit lately, you know we have been testing so many things behind the scene, and this one is gonna be bigger, which we're gonna announce. It's today we are officially announcing where we are gonna. It's not a contest. It's not another giveaway. It's basically a live creator full grown growth experiment. It's the biggest X growth challenge of the year, where you guys will be competing head on head for testing and posting and sharing data proving what really work on X. It's basically a 6 week mission where it's powered by SurgeKit and where you guys will join our X private lab and use SurgeKit to grow your X account and compete for the prize pool of more than $1,000. So yes, more surprises and a lot of things is gonna happen in the search season. I do not want to reveal all the surprises here, but it's definitely a lot of internal X growth tactics and growth hacks you're gonna learn along with the price pool. So, yes, after this AMA, we will drop a link to join the contest. Obviously, it's gonna be a limited slot, so please hurry up. And yeah, really looking forward to it. And yes, let's get started. Let's surge it.
Let's supercharge the content. Let's go. All right. So, you want me to toss the link in here now?
Yes, if you can,
All
yes,
right.
share it.
Here you go, guys. This is the Surge Kit Creator Contest Growth Challenge Surge Season. Let's supercharge our content. Let's see who's going to take the top prizes. There's going to be 3 winners here. So you're going to have the Growth Hacker, Fastest Growth Strategist, Smartest Insights, and the Amplifier, Biggest Community Impact. 6 week growth challenge, guys. $1,000 of prizes split 3 ways. So it's big money to be won. I just sign up, participate. It's a couple posts a week. It's an opportunity for you to provide feedback and to help a company that is building openly in the space to guide their direction and improve their processes and thus potentially improve your experience. Now, curious, when they sign up, will they be getting the access to the platform during the 6 weeks?
Yes, it will be a free access. So basically, once everyone fill up the form, we will select the few which will be joining the contest, and later we will be adding them in our private Telegram chat. We will give them one full year's SurgeKit subscription for free to test it out, and a lot of other access.
Awesome. Yes, I will. I will be posting it on minor updates. I'm gonna do a full announcement post on the contest, and you guys will be able to check this out and get started. When do they have to apply by?
So deadline is till 5th November, starting today.
Okay, so the 5th of November. All right, let me get that marked down so I can 5th of November so that I can have this posted. Make sure that these guys know because they'll say, "Oh, nobody told us. Why didn't you tell us, Taurus? I told you guys 5 times in 5 different channels. Read." No. Um,
On 5th.
hey, if anything, I give too much information, and then when these guys come out and they go, "Oh, nobody told me," I'm like, "Bro, you weren't paying attention. I pinged you 10 different times." But yeah, so is it? Oh, it seems it's only for. Is it only for verified followers? Oh, wait, because you guys have to do.
No, no, it's basically it's an open challenge. We just need your X handle, and we just want to see how we all, along with the search kit, how we can grow the accounts organically.
Okay, because it does ask for a screenshot of your analytics here. But it's actually also not
If
a.
you have nothing, yeah.
Yeah. I was sorry. I was saying it's also not an image upload option. It's just a text answer. So maybe just share the number of followers that you guys have, since it's a text based prompt. Bobby, would that be good?
Yes, we just need to know how many followers you have, engagement, and the current status of the account. That's it.
Okay. Awesome. So I will get that posted up, and like she said, you guys do not have to do verified for this. It's open until the 5th, so there's only 2 days to apply. Is there a time for the deadline? The 5th at what time? UTC? What?
8 p.m. UTC.
8
I'll
p.m.
also add into
UTC.
the form.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bobby. Is there anything else you want to say about the contest before we wrap this up? Anything else that you want to share, Alex?
No, this has been great actually. Thanks for hosting this. That was like really well put together. And obviously if anyone has feedback, like feel free to send it over. We have a feedback forum on the site. We're obviously still really early, but we want to keep improving the product as fast as possible. And this is actually good timing because I have to jump to my next call. But again, thanks to everyone that showed up. Thank Tars and Bobby for hosting or helping co-host. And yeah, excited to do one of these again in the future, hopefully with the product even better.
I appreciate the flowers. I've never been told I was put together before, so yeah.
You are. I've done a lot of Discord. Trust me, I've done some crazy AMA Discords back in the day, and this was pretty well put together. So appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you joining. Usually we do things very loose and very relaxed. It tends to lead to a little bit of a better environment. Thank you for joining us. Go do your meeting and have a productive day. We're gonna kick off here in just a few minutes and get the announcements posted up and get everything organized so that people can start jumping in and getting ready to participate for the growth challenge. Thank you again, Bobby, for coming and joining us. Thank you again to all the friends. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much for hosting. See you soon. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
No problem. Bye bye. All right, guys. So we're going to do the giveaway real quick. We've got the giveaway for the 3 random winners, and I'm going to do something else a little bit special. Since we have a little bit of a surplus, what I'm going to do is I am going to give away an extra 3 sets of $10 for the people who asked the questions. I know there were quite a few of them. You can't submit questions now. Sorry, guys. Too late. So sad, too bad. Should have asked them before. But those people who did do the questions before, you're going to be able to be randomly selected from the list of people, and you will be able to see if you won the 10 USDT. So there's going to be a total of $60 given away. Thanks to our friends SurgeKit for coming in and hanging out with us and providing an awesome time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the duck races pulled up because you know how we love the quack. We're going to get everybody in here. Let's see if... Oh, what did I do here? Wrong window. All right. Let me get this printed out real quick. I'll get the list of friends together. Slash stage track. Export current channel CJF friends. CJF stage. Milestone threshold 15. Let's go. 99 attendees. Let's go. All right. So not a bad event. Not the turnout I was hoping for with you guys. Come on, we could do better, but it was not a bad event, and I will take it. Um, it happens sometimes, especially right now. I think a lot of you guys in Nigeria are up on exams right now. No, because I know somebody was talking about they were studying for something that was going on. So I imagine it's around exam time. I don't know if there's any holidays or anything too that are up around this time, but you know, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I gotta remove some names from the list here. We got some of the team members who jumped in to hang out. Francesco. Francesco was only here for like 0 minutes. What? What? Let's see who else we got here. We've got Nero. We got Where is everybody? I need to make sure that we have everybody removed. Leoton, how the hell were you in here longer than me? Jeez, Leo. Always a good friend. You're always here. You're always supporting. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being a good friend. All right, delete row. Let's see. So we're gonna do it from the 15-minute mark. So we've got Captain Easy and Up here. Let me just double check and make sure there's nobody else here that I have to remove. Where's Francisco? There we go. Sorry, buddy. Um, just a moment, just a moment. Sorry, guys, for the delay. Just want to make sure. See, it makes it easier, but it also has its issues. So the bot is working really well. The bot is tracking really well. The only problem is, though, is that if you have a poor internet connection, it doesn't always track that you were here at 100% of the time because you disconnect and then you reconnect. So it's like a ghost connection where you're not necessarily in. But no, it's okay, Velocity. I appreciate that you joining in, brother. I'm selecting 3 people randomly as well, Solitudes. So typically, what we do is we have the random selection, which is the 3 random people from people who have attended for longer than a certain period. I require a 15-minute minimum because I am getting tired of people coming in for the last 5 minutes and getting rewarded while we have people who have been here for an hour and are not rewarded. So, yeah. That's okay, Velocity. I'm sure that yours would have been awesome. This is a list of people that are going to be in the drawing right now. Okay, guys? So Just giving you the heads up on that. 76 names in the list. We're going to do 30 seconds. Oh, that's way too long. 1 day and 30 seconds. Could you imagine leaving that up for oh, wait, no. 1 hour in 30 seconds? Yeah, no, 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 no. 30 seconds is too long already. All right. Let's get this kicked off. We're going to give it a couple shuffles, and then you guys are all going to give a big quack for your ducks and hope that you win. I'm going to start upping the requirements. We're doing life. 76 names. I haven't done death in a while, but maybe we will do a death event um throughout the week. All right. How's this? I'll give you guys the option. Duck race of death or life. You guys are going to do this to me. I know it, but we'll remove the two. We know which one's death and which one's life. So, rip or one. Rip or one, guys. Death or life. So, if we're gonna do duck race of death, what ends up happening is we will run the race until the last three are standing, right? And then those last three win. If we do life, it's the first three who win. So it ends up working almost the same way. What's the matter, Depo? You want the last three? You guys are gonna kill me. All right. So we got to change this up because we can't do 30 seconds for the last three, guys. There's no way. We'll do 3 seconds. Let's see. Let's do the math here. Calc, right? 3 times 76. Or well, no. Shit. 3 times 73 or 72, right? Times 60. Oh shit. Did it wrong. 216 divided by 60. 3.6 minutes. Yeah, I can do 3 seconds. We'll do it. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Guys, three is not an option. It's one or death. One or death, guys. One or death. It looks like death is winning right now, too. What do you mean 228? Because I have to only get to the last three. So it's 216. You guys are freaking goofballs. All right. So I'm still sharing my screen. That's all good. Looks like looks like life is winning. We've got until 12, the 15-minute mark. At 15, if whichever one is in the lead, we're going with that one. How's that? Right now, right now, life is in the lead. Vote here. We've got 60 something y'all in the audience. Go vote. 11 to 8, guys. 2 more minutes left. I'll do death. I mean, I'm fine with death. It's just going to take 3 minutes for us to get through it, 4 minutes for us to get through it. Death usually wins. I'm surprised that we're going with life right now. 11 to 8 still. I see guys playing around with the numbers, but I don't. Oh, 11 to 7, 12 to 7. Oh, I think we've got a winner. We've got 2 minutes left, guys. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Life is winning this time, guys. New people don't understand how much fun the duck race of death is. 13 to 8. And that works in my favor. Well, I'll tag you if you win, Leo. Yeah, so it's the last three at the end of the race that win instead of the first three that win. That's the trick. That's the trick, Adebo. Adepoju or Adepoju? Adepoju? I'm trying to say it, dude. I'm trying to say it. Thanks for joining in again, Leo. I always appreciate you showing up, dude. Shut up, Crib. Shut up. Shut up, Fire. I'm trying. I'm trying. How is it pronounced? Spell it out for me. I'm a silly American. I don't know these things. You should see. Life is the first three. Yes. Life is the first three win. Death is the last three win. It comes in threes either way. It looks like we have a winner, though. It's the 15-minute mark, and we have Duck Race of Life. I am sorry, guys, that wanted death, but it looks like life has won. We're going to do 30 seconds for the Ducks since it is life. Give a little bit of suspense to it, and we're going to kick this off. Get ready, get steady, quack for your Ducks, guys. Otherwise, they're going to fall behind. Quack! Let's go! Who's going to take the first win? We've got 76 running ducks here. Well, racing ducks, swimming ducks. Yeah. Leo Ton is in the front. I haven't seen I haven't seen Leo win in a while. It would be nice to see Leo win. Oh, no way. No way. Snorlax, this is your second win, buddy. If you don't send me your wallet address, I'm going to give it to somebody else. Like, go open a ticket right now. Dude, go open a ticket right now. If you don't, somebody else is getting your prize. Oh, there we go. No, not immutable. Um, not immutable. I need your EVM. So, EVM wallets, guys. If you're using an exchange, verify that your ETH and your BSC wallets are the same on that exchange because sometimes they are different. And if they are different, open a let me know in the ticket. All right. So Snorlax has won again. This is the second time. Last week he won one. This week he won one. That's kind of crazy. This guy has luck. He's sleeping through it all though. It's nuts. All right. Let's see for a second winner here. Ready, steady, and quack. Yeah, I had to double check, dude, because like I was asking for your wallet, I couldn't find you, and I'm like, where the hell is this guy? Let's see who the second winner is. Come on, guys. Quack for your ducks. I don't see quacks, guys. I don't see quacks. Your ducks are lonely. They're bored. They're not feeling the love. Oh, who is this coming up from the rear? Oh, is it going to be Token Seeker? It's Ela Arya. His velocity's like quack. I'll try anything at this point. Quack. Ela Arya, it's been a while since you won. Congratulations, friend. And our last random winner of today for participation is going to be, let's see, Quack. Quack for your ducks. Quack for your ducks. Poor Velocity. Well, you did win last week, though, right? So, yeah, there's that at least. Yeah. Some people only ever win on writing, dude. And it looks like our winner. Oh, so close. Oma was pushing for that lead. You've won Quack before. I know you've won Quack before. There's no way. I know you've won Quack before. Don't make me go looking through. Yeah, just twice. I've never won Quack before. I've only won it twice. Some of these guys have not won ever. Is this the right Victoria? Damn it. Hold on. I have streamer mode on for some reason. I can't see the names. All right, let's see. Let's see. At Victoria. There we go. Congratulations, Victoria. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to export the chat or you know what? I'm just going to run back through it real quick. Cuz we only had a few questions. So, breathes in, do not argue. Virion. 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 You know what? I know what I'm gonna do. Let's see. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna do this separately. I'm gonna create another recording like the last time. Okay. So what happens is Christian is I take the names of all the people who have attended for over a half an hour, and then I enter it into the duck race, and then and then the ducks just go, and whoever wins wins, right? So the way the bot works is the bot records your time in the Discord and tells me whether or not you've been there for the 15 minutes. So like some people down here. Champion was here for a little bit. You know, Anthony's was here for a little bit. Nero was here for a little bit, but they weren't here for the full 15 minutes, so they didn't end up getting entered into the race. So yeah, you have to be there for the 15 minutes, otherwise it doesn't go right. So yeah. Let me see. There we go. Got that. Roboticized. Robo duck. Robo duck. But what I will do is I will export today's chat here. I'm gonna go through it and I'm going to see who has some questions, and then I am going to do a random draw of the three winners for the questions. That way you guys can have another chance there to win. I do not want people who actively participated to feel like they didn't get an advantage, because realistically we reward active participation here more. I'm not about just being fair. Like if you're not actively participating, you're not being fair to other people that are actively participating if you win, because guess what, they were sitting here, they were asking questions, they were participating, they were being good friends, and you sat there and you watched, and we appreciate you participating, but that's not all there is to it. So, of course, we're going to try to reward the people who have actively participated more, or at least give them another chance. Home, De Young. What's up, De Young? It's equal, but it's also fair in my opinion, because you guys participated. You know what I'm saying? You guys asked questions. That's why typically with things like To the Moon, we do active participation over passive participation, because we want to see the people who are actually learning something from the events that we have getting rewarded for their interest in learning. Call it incentivized learning, right? Or incentivized participation, whatever you want to do. But I would rather have you participate and get rewarded than just be there and get rewarded. I think that's a better system. Because otherwise, it just leaves 100 people sitting in the chat and sitting in the audience, and nobody asking anything, nobody being a good friend and participating. So yeah. D Young, sometimes you ask too many questions. I love it though. I love it though. You're always trying to learn, and I appreciate that. But yeah, definitely sometimes you just go, bro. You, Hamez, Crib sometimes, Emmy sometimes you guys just, oh my god. But yeah. So that me, my guy. Yep, I feel it. All right, guys. So we're gonna end up cutting this off. Thank you for attending. Thank you anybody who's watched in on X or YouTube or Twitch. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. Come be a friend. www.discord.gg/CJN friends. You can come participate in the events live. If you participate in the events live, it gives you an opportunity for you to participate in the giveaways that we have 5 days a week, either through our guild hall events like this one where we host projects and do AMAs and do deep dives and explorations, or our X creator stuff, or our content creation stuff with Maddox, or our game nights with Toxic, or our To the Moon events with 100X Caesar. We have events all week long. Come participate and potentially win 10 USDT. If you've got the time, if you want to learn more, if it's something that tickles your pickle, bring it here, okay? Come here and hang out with us live in the Discord. You can ask questions easier. I don't always get every notification that comes through in the chat. I'm streaming to 3 different platforms. Streamlabs OBS doesn't always send the messages through. I've got to get a better chat system for that so I can pay more attention to you guys. But my priority during these streams, if I'm gaming or something, I'll prioritize my chat. If I'm doing this for our Discord, guess who's going to get the priority? People in the Discord. And the people in the Discord are the only ones who win. I don't do the giveaways on Twitch. I don't do the giveaways on X. I don't typically like participating in giveaway culture, but it's something that I have a budget for. So it's something that I try to make an active participation requirement here. We have weekly contests for X creation, usually around $75. That goes out to 5 people. $25 wins to $5 wins, depending on where your content sits at the end of the event. They're graded by me or by Maddox, or by Caesar, or yeah, Caesar, because like when we have the trading competitions. I'm a derp when it comes to trading. I'll participate in the speculative market, but I'm not the best at it. That's Caesar's realm. So yeah, come participate, come be a friend, come join in today. And then of course, check out our friends from SurgeKit. They joined us today. They shared information. They got me generous enough to give away an extra $30 today because people came in and they showered them with love and questions. And that's just the type of environment that I like having here. Even if things are a little rough, we work on it together and we learn together and we get past it together because we're good friends. So yeah, see you guys.